Welcome all, Bernie here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook. Starting with the DXY on the daily. I was looking at the A, B, C. Then we changed it to an A, B, C because of the price action we got in here, an A, B, C in here. So once we were over here, I was looking for that 38.2 fib retracement and even back to the 50 fib. So we finally got to that 38.2. We do have bearish divergence here. So looking at the H4, we're looking for that. Well, we're looking for a Z up. So, like I said last week, we never got the cross down on this one. So this is internal. So we got WXY. We're looking for that X2 and then the Z up. So nothing's really changed. We really need to wait for that X2 and then look for that Z up. If you get a decent bearish flag here, it's risky. But if you do get a bearish flag in here, you can look for that sell. Pretty much like I said last week, if you get the bearish flag, you can look for that sell in the X2. Get it to break even. And yeah, because we don't know where this wave will end on the H4, you know, this C wave up. We don't know where that wave will end. So, yeah. Looking at the daily on the AU, nothing's changed. Looking at that WXY, X2, and then a Z down. So nothing's changed since last week. We're looking for that C up on the H4. We now have bullish divergence. So wait for your trend line break, bullish flag, and look for that. I can actually draw this 100 fib on here now. So we're looking for the 100 fib around the 75-50 area. EU on the daily. Again, this is pretty much the same as DXY, like I said last week. We can look at this as an A, a B, and then we get a C up for a running or expanding flat before we get that A, B, C. So we're pretty much looking for this C up. H4. Because we got this A, B, and a C up in here, we're looking for that flat. That's why we're looking for that A, B, C. So we don't, between this low here and this low here, we do have bullish divergence. So it's quite difficult because on the H1, we don't have any bullish divergence, but we are getting a little bullish flag here. Yeah. So if you do get it's risky, but if you do get a little bullish flag, you can look for that buy. Keep your stops tight, and it may take off on you. And yeah, we might get that larger C up. Even if we just goes up here, takes you out at break even, goes and breaks that low, well then you can draw your trend line, and we'll more than likely get bullish divergence. And then you'll be able to, you know, wait for the trend line break and then look for the buy. So either way, you know, start looking for your buys. GU on the daily. This is tricky as well. You know, we got all the bearish divergence on the daily. Now, we can look at this, like I said last week, we can look at that as the top. We got 3 down in, but we still can look at this as an A, a B, and a C. So we get a flat in here, and then we get that A, B, C as a larger correction. And that's sort of the way I'm looking at it. You know, I was looking at this as an A, B, C, but like I've been saying for ages, we got a nice impulse up in here, but this was too deep. You know, so it turned into a correction because we got 1, 2, 3 down in here. Then we're looking for the A, B, C, and then look for downside. So we're looking for upside. So I'm actually in this one down here on the lower time frames. Again, it's very difficult because on the H4 we don't have any bullish divergence, so it gets risky. You know, you really got to get in down the bottom and wait. You know, get in the bottom and get it to break even. You know, so it is risky because more than likely this still can be, you know, possible bear hidden here, and we go down, break the low, then giving us that bullish divergence, and then it gives the bullish setup. So yeah, it's risky, but I'm looking for buys. If you get buy setups, you know, look for the buy. I'm more interested in the buy now, you know. So yeah, if you get a little flag in here, you know, you can look for the buy. Or if it gives you a sell setup, you can even look for the sell as well to go and break the low. You definitely want to be at break even, or even take half off at that low, because we will then get that bullish divergence, and then you'd be looking for the buy. NU on the daily, this is quite tricky as well, because we can look at this as an A. I was looking at this as an A, B, C. But then when we get the price action, we got 3 down in here, so we have to look at it. We can start looking as an A, B, C, flat in here, like I showed last week, and then we get that A, B, C. So on this one, there still is possible a bit more downside to go and break this low. It would be nice if it does go and break that low. Again, we got a higher high here, so it is risky to be, you know, selling, but yeah, H4, nothing's changed since last week. We're looking at that as an A, B, C, A, B. We're looking for that C. Again, there's no bullish divergence, so it's very risky, you know. At this stage, it's very risky. Even on the H1, we don't have any bullish divergence, and more than likely, this is bear hidden here. You know, in here we got a crossover here, so we got possible bear hidden here. So ideally, it goes and breaks this low over here, and then, you know, it gives us a nice impulse up and something to buy. Looking at the UY on the daily. Okay. So looking at the A, B, C, this was quite difficult because we had, instead of this being the end of wave C in here and giving us a nice impulse, it gave us a nice impulse, but then it gave us all this in here. Like I've been saying for ages, you know, makes it very difficult. And then finally it went, you know. We were looking for the buy last week on the H4, but it's gone. It actually went further than I thought it would. You know, I was just looking for that A, B, C, and then, you know, possibly A, B, C, more downside. So, you know, there's no bearish divergence. So you can really only look for the buy. More than likely, this will, you know, give some sort of a correction in here and give us that bull hidden in here. And then you can look for the buy. You can also look for the sell on the lower time frames, you know. Well, last week we were actually looking for the X2. So no, H1 we will still get that bullish divergence. We've got that bull hidden here. So we're looking at W, X, Y, X2, and then you could look for that Z up on the H1, and then you could look for the sell. But yeah, I dare say we'll get another higher high here. We're getting that bull hidden, possible bull hidden. So we may get that Z up. Looking at the Sheffy, Swissy. So this hasn't changed. This pattern's finally hit that 100 fib. Just move these over a bit. So the structure I'm looking at still hasn't changed. We're looking at this as an A, B, C. Now we've just bounced off that 100 fib in the B wave, and we're looking for that A, B, C. Then we're looking for the larger A, B, C after we had those 5 down with bullish divergence. H4. This is a very choppy, you know, this is quite difficult. Last week we were looking for the buy because we had that bull hidden on the H1, but we're looking for that A, B, C. It's finally hit that 100 fib now, and we do have bearish divergence on the H4. So if you do get a bearish setup, look for that bearish setup. Yeah, see, last week we had that bull hidden. I warned you about that bull hidden, and we could possibly go up and break that top. So we've done that now. So you really want to wait. If you get a trend line break, some sort of a correction or bear flag, then look for the sell. UCAD's very messy, very difficult. You know, there's really nothing on the daily. We got that possible bear hidden. You know, it's not valid, but sometimes they give a real deep correction. So we don't really know what's going on in. More than likely, it is a correction. But yeah, I dare say we get some sort of a large correction in here, and then probably a C up, and then maybe, you know, more downside. But that's a fair way away. On the H1, on the H4, sorry. So this is why it's so difficult. This was so sharp and it went so far. If you go back through my videos, you'll see. I was just looking for an A, B, C up in here, and then an A, B, C, and then the A, B, C. Instead, it's made it difficult because, you know, we had that bull hidden here, and we never broke that top. We never broke the top with the bull hidden. So it's made it very difficult. You know, this is very hard to trade. There's no clear setup on it. You know, last week we had that possible bull hidden. We're in here somewhere, and we're looking at that possible. You know, you could only really sell if this low here got broken. It went and broke that low, so now you can look for the sell. It's something I'd stay out of. It's so choppy, you know. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, if you were going to look for the trade, again, it's very risky. We don't have any bearish divergence. We did break that low there, taking out that possible bull hidden. So now you could look for, you know, some sort of a sell setup for just an A, B, C, and then yeah, it might turn into an A, B, C, then you get that A, B, C. This can turn into quite complex. It's something for the more experienced traders. It's something I just stay out of. It's not worth, you know, risking money on something that's not playing the game. Looking at the GU on the daily, so we're looking at that like W, X, Y, A, B, C in the X2, and then the Z up. On the H4, again, this is quite difficult. We had that bear hidden here, you know, and we were looking for that to go and break the low. Looking for a buy here, you know, to go and buy for that C up. It's given a nice impulse up, but then it's given a very deep correction, you know. It's not playing the game. Again, I just stay out of it, you know. If it gave a nice bullish setup, you know, yeah, go for it. But instead, it's given a very deep correction in here. Makes it too difficult. You know, it's too risky to trade, in my opinion. You know, when it does, if it's giving the structure you're looking for, but not the setups to buy or sell, well, I just stay out of it. EG on the daily, again, this is, you know, it's not playing the game. We're looking at W, X, Y, X2, and then the Z down. Instead, it's given, you know, after the Z down with the bullish divergence, we want a nice impulse up, correction or flag, and then look for the buy. Instead, we've got all this. Makes it very difficult. You know, we've got 3 up in here with bearish divergence. So, you know, last week we're looking for the C up. You know, we're looking for that A, B, C, and then it's fallen over. You know, I think last week this one had the ball hidden as well. I think. Oh no, we were looking for the Z up on the H1. It's so it's given us a very deep pullback. So we're looking for that W, X, Y, X2, and then the Z up. You can actually look for that Z up because we do have the ball hidden on here. So more than likely this there's a good chance that this ball hidden will play out. I'd have to see if it's valid to trade as ball hidden. But yeah, if you get a bullish setup, you know, something to buy, you know, you could look to buy that to go and break that top. Definitely want to be a break even because more than likely, you know, we'll get that bearish divergence then. Looking at the gold on the daily. So this didn't play the game either. Like I've been saying for ages, we were looking for that bear hidden here to go and break that low. It didn't quite break the low over here. So now we have to look at it as an A, B, C in the B wave. And then we're looking for that A, B, C. This one here, this impulse here didn't really go far enough. You know, it never went anywhere near that 100 fib. So, you know, this sort of can turn into quite a few different structures as well. On the H4, like most of the others, you know, we're looking for that C up. We're looking at A, B, C. Now we got the bullish divergence. Last week we didn't have that bullish divergence. Now we have that bullish divergence. So, you know, you can wait for that trend line break. If you get any bullish setup here, you know, you can look for that C up. can actually draw the target on this one. It's pretty much enough data there to look for that buy. So you're looking at that 1868 for your first target. WTI on the daily. This is quite tricky as well, because we got so much bearish divergence, but yet it's just not falling over. Looking at it, A, B, C, and then an A, B, C down. Instead, it's just about gone up and broken that top. So we were just looking for that A, B, and a C up, hit the first target, and this 161.8 was the second target if you did take this and hold it. So it did hit the second target. It still is possible that this is a flat, but you really have to wait for a nice sell setup to look for the sell. You know, and it hasn't given you a sell setup yet. Like we're looking at A, B, C, you know, for a larger correction before we get more upside. There's no sell setup on it. We don't even have bearish divergence. I think last week we were looking at that top to be broken because we had that bull hidden here. So looking for this top here to be broken. And then give us a trend line break and a sell setup. Instead, it's kept on going up for the second target in the buy. You very risky if you're buying with all the bearish divergence on the daily. You know, it's very risky to be buying, especially up the top. But if you're looking for flags, you know, there's no bearish divergence. So, you know, if you want to risk it, well, you know, I'll be more interested in the sells. Bitcoin on the daily. So we're looking at this as a bear hidden, possible bear hidden here on the daily to go and break this low. On the H4, sort of, we're looking at that WXY, X2, and then a Z up. I wasn't sure if we would actually get this set up because we had that possible bear hidden on the daily. So, you know, but looking at it now, we more than likely will get that Z up now. So here's your first and your second target, 123.6 and the 161.8. So if you get any bullish setup, any buy setup, you know, you could look for those buys with your targets. We have broken the trend line. So, you know, if you do trade this pair, more than likely you would already be in it. Yeah, see, there's no real buy setup. This was your, you know, you had A, B, C in here with the bullish divergence. So this would have been your first setup in here. Break of that top if you're looking for this to buy. SPX on the daily. So eventually I am looking for, you know, this A, B, C. We're looking for a larger correction eventually. You know, we have turned down on the MACD now, and we've got all this bearish divergence. Very risky to be buying up here. So we're looking at, we've got a nice impulse down. So we can really only sell, like I said, you know, last few weeks, we got a lower low here. So we're only really looking for the sell. Last week on the H1, we were looking for the sell because we had that possible bear hidden here. It never broke this top. Never broke this top here. I said if we're looking for the buy, we really need to break that top and then look for the buy. Or else there's that possible bear hidden, you know. And it did go down and break that low. So now I'm looking at like on the H4, looking at A, B, and then we get that C up flat in here for an A, B, and then we get a C down. So we're looking for the buy. If you get any buy set up on here, I'm in the buy on this one as well down here. But this one here, I don't think we have. Yeah, so you have to be very careful with this too, because we don't have any bullish divergence. And we have possible bear hidden here. So you really have to wait for a nice flag to buy it. Ideally, it goes and breaks this top, taking out the possibility of that bear hidden, and then gives you the bullish flag or correction, and then you could look for that buy. Because I'm only really looking for that 100 fib for the 123.6 as a second target, or possibly, you know, an extreme is at 161.8. But yeah, I'm really only looking for that 100 pip target. So if you do get a bullish setup, you know, you can look for that, and you definitely want to be a break even at that 100 pip, because that 100 fib's pretty much around that trend line as well. So you'll have to be careful of that. AU 200 on the daily. Again, very risky to be buying. You got all this bearish divergence. Really looking for a bearish setup. We got an impulse down. We got a lower low. So on the H4, this is quite choppy as well. We don't have any bullish divergence. There's no bullish divergence on it. We had bear hidden here last week. There's bear hidden, but yeah, it didn't go and break that low. We got a very deep correction. So more than likely, this is an A, B, C in here as well, for some sort of a expanding or running flat, and then we get another one down, like an A, B, C in here. That's the way I'm looking at it. I didn't get a trade on this one. The S&P looked better, so I took that. But yeah, at this stage, there's really no trade, because we have that possible bear hit. So you can't really buy this. You want to wait until it breaks that low, and then look for your buy setup if you want to trade this, and, you know, look for that A, B, C, and then you could, you know, start looking for your sell if that's the structure it gives you with these setups. Looking at the FTSE on the daily, again, nothing's changed on the daily. We've got heaps of bearish divergence. Very risky to be buying at the top. On the H4, we're looking at this A. We're just looking for an A, B, C in here, and then a C up. Instead, this come down very deep. This was very deep here. So we're just looking for that A, B, C. Last week, it broke this trend line in here with a higher high. So we were sort of looking for a buy. It didn't really give a nice correction. It would have been nice if this actually broke that top, and then we could have looked at it as a triangle, like an A, B, C, D, E, and then, you know, the larger A, B, C. But it didn't quite break that top. I mean, you still can look at it as an A, B, C, and then you get that A, B, C, but it's not as nice. But if you do get a bullish setup in here, you can look for the buy. It's very risky though, you know, because we don't have any bullish divergence, and we have bearish divergence. We have bearish divergence here, and we have a lower low, so there's no bullish divergence, so very risky. It could go either way, so just be careful if you're trading this. I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.